over the past few years, we've lost Hancock Fabrics, Fabric.com, and now JOANN Fabrics. What are we gonna do? Welcome to Sewing Report Live. I'm Jen, and I want to take a few minutes to go over some alternative options for fabric and sewing supplies. Quick disclaimer, this is not a sponsored video. I will be sharing my real opinions and experiences. Links to everything I'm discussing will be in the description box. Some of these are affiliate links. So, all right, I know. I've heard from many of you. Some of you are not keen to shopping online. That's actually how I purchase most of my stuff. There are some ways around it, and I know it's going to be a little bit challenging, but let's be real. Brick and mortar shops have some real obstacles, and I hope maybe in your area you have a plentiful selection of apparel fabric stores. My area has a few, I know, but some of you don't. So a lot of us do rely on online shopping. All right, so the first one, this is obviously going to be a bit biased, but if you're not aware, I actually sell some fabric and sewing supplies on Etsy. I know, Sewing Report, quick plug. So take this with a grain of salt. It is my Etsy shop, and you can find it at sewingreport.etsy.com. You can see some of the items I have. I do only ship within the United States, and I offer free shipping on orders of $35 or more. But I sell, I would say, a very curated selection of fabric. I pick stuff that I personally really like. My suppliers for fabric are mostly Figo Fabrics and Cloud9. They're two fabric manufacturers that I find the quality is very nice. They have a lot of lines and collections that I think are really cute. So that's mostly what I stock at the shop. I do have quilting cotton. I do have a pretty good selection of rayon from Figo Fabrics, and I do have some knit fabrics from Cloud9. I've got I would say a lot of stuff I use personally is what I chose to stock in the shop. So I do have some tool supplies, some notions. I love marking pens. I love again, this is stuff that I was like, okay, I really like this item. So that's what I chose to stock in the shop. I sell Sarah Hart's labels woven. I sell a small selection of needles. And I know I did do a poll on my channels, and a lot of you said you would like to see more stuff for apparel sewing. So I am keeping that in mind. I do have some Seraflex elastic thread. That's been a fairly popular item. I'm thinking about adding some more thread because those are items that would kind of be relatively easy for me to do. So here are my fabric offerings, and I do have some curated quilting cotton bundles, some Clouda beautiful glimmer solids. So I know this might not be for everybody, but and I've talked about this before. Fabric is kind of the hardest, category in my shop as an online seller, but I know it's tough. So yeah, mostly I stock Figo and Cloud9. I've had good experiences with those manufacturers, and I personally like the quality. I like sewing with them. So you can find me at sewingreport.etsy.com. This is a completely solo operation. I do all of the fulfillment myself. I have no help from anybody. So all of the items are packaged and shipped out personally by me. So again, if you like the channel, you like what I do here, I'd appreciate you checking out my Etsy shop. Again, sewingreport.etsy.com. All right, the next one, I'm kind of excited about this one. And full disclosure, I am an affiliate, but I think what they're doing is really cool. And I have not made a purchase from them yet, but I just think it looks really cool. So that is something I need to do. But this is a nonprofit organization that focuses on it's a sustainable business, and it's called FABSCRAP. So what they do is they operate in, I believe, mostly the New York City area, and I believe parts of like maybe New Jersey, Pennsylvania. Might not be correct on that, but what they do is they work with clothing manufacturers and a lot of higher end labels, and they get like a lot of their dead stock. So a lot of this stuff is from high end designers. So here's the website. It says a convenient and transparent recycling and reuse service. So I think this is super cool. So what they do is they pick up materials, and they don't just have fabric, they have notions, they even sell thread and yarn. They sort everything and then they put it in the shop. So I just think it's a really neat concept, and it's a really, like, I think the mission is really cool. And I've gone over this before in the channel, but they've got, oh, and it looks like they do now have like a physical storefront where you can shop. You can also volunteer and get free fabric. But I've looked at their site, and they have some, like, you would be surprised at the amount of fabric they have. They're very detailed in the descriptions as well, which is something I think is great. So, like, when you click on a fabric, see, they have really good quality photos. You can see detail, and it tells you, like, what the material is. And so as you can see right here, these fabrics are recovered from high-end designers in New York City, sold as a sustainable alternative to destruction and discard in landfill. But I really like how much detail they give with the item. Crisp patina blue-green color fabric with a slub texture, burn tested, so it's a natural fiber. And it tells you the width and also like the weight. Lightweight, non-stretch, opaque, suitable for apparel. So I think the photos they have are good, and that's one thing. If you're gonna do more shopping online, it really helps to find websites that do this sort of thing, that have a lot of detail. Also helps when they have the care instructions. I know for this it might be a little bit hard since they are sourcing. You know, they might not have the manufacturer information, so I know it might be hard for this particular business, but it does help if they have fabric care instructions. Is it dry clean only? Do you have to pre-wash it? Like, what do you do to care for this fabric? So I think this FABSCRAP nonprofit looks really cool. They have tons of stuff. You can get scraps. So okay, 50% off all zippers now, right? Again, this might be dated by the time you see it, but they have a lot of stuff, and the prices, I would say, like, I think for what they're selling, I think the prices are fair. I would say this seems a little bit more budget friendly than Mood Fabrics. That kind of has the same similar vibes in terms of the fabric selection. So yeah, lots of stuff here. So this is what they currently have, fabric by the yard. This is, let's see here. What else do they have? Okay, so this is mixed synthetics. So yeah, they have tons of stuff. They've got trim. Yeah, look at all of these zippers. So $1, that's not bad. They've got cording, ribbon, buttons. So they have more than you would think. So yeah, yarn. So some pretty cool stuff. So check out FABSCRAP. Link is in the description box. So that is another one that I think is definitely worth checking out for sure. All right, so the next up, this is the place to go for notions. I'm telling you, notions and supplies, this is a really good spot. I've shopped this company quite a bit, and I'm talking about Wawak. Wawak, America's #1 sewing source for over 100 years. They even have a catalog. You can get a catalog. And I've purchased a lot of stuff from Wawak over the years. Great prices. Like, you will not find, I don't think you'll find better prices for what they offer. Thread, zippers, they needles, garment construction, bag making, drapery, upholstery, cutting and measuring. So they service a lot of seamstresses, tailors, dry cleaners, but they're pricey. In fact, I probably might need to order some needles for my Juki from here. But lots of great stuff, and the prices, the quality of the items I get from Wawak is always really good. They have free shipping on orders over $99, but they just have tons of stuff. So lots of stuff if you are into apparel sewing, garment construction. Oh, they've got bag making stuff now. So lots of different stuff, and they're always adding more items. And I've also noticed that they started making some of their own in-house brands. So they have their own interfacing, Wawak interfacing now, which is super cool. Let's take a look at that. And I just thought that was really pretty cool. All right, let's see if we can find the interfacing here. Okay, here we go. So yeah, I noticed they started selling their own in-house brand of interfacing, and I did purchase it, and it seemed very similar to Pellon Shape Flex 101. Let me see if I can find the Wawak brand. So yeah, they do sell like the Pellon in different brands. But yeah, they've got, okay, here's their own brand. Okay. Yeah, I think I bought, it was this, but it was not gray, it was white. So I'm not sure if maybe they're out of stock. Let me see. But yeah, this is what I purchased, and I bought like a smaller piece, so it wasn't that big. Let me see if I can go back there. But yeah, it seemed like really good quality, and I was happy with it. And it was definitely a bit more budget friendly than, not saying the Pellon stuff is expensive, but it was definitely very budget friendly from what I remember at the time. Yeah, I thought there was more. Maybe they're out of it right now, but they did have a lot of, okay, oh, is it, maybe it's this one? I don't know. This is called Profuse, but I thought I bought the Wawak brand. Okay, so this one is also, so this says, maybe it was this one. This is Profuse Flexible Fusible Woven Interface, and this is 5 yards for $19.80. I mean, that's a pretty good price. So they have a lot of stuff. They've got scissors, a lot of tools, and a lot of stuff that you would use for sewing garments, lots of bag making stuff. So if you haven't ever ordered from Wawak, my experience with Wawak has always been superb. I also ordered, they have another company called like Dry Cleaner Supply, and I've ordered some stuff from there before, and it's great. And they even featured me on their catalog a few years ago, which was a really cool experience. All right, so next up, we are going to go to a company called Fabric Wholesale Direct. I've purchased from Fabric Wholesale Direct quite a bit, and I would say their fabric offerings have really expanded over the past few years. When I first started shopping with Fabric Wholesale Direct, the selection was pretty limited, but they seem to be adding more and more products. Free shipping over orders of $99. You can also sign up for their email list, and they have a lot of different promotions. So I would say fabric here. All right, so here's my honest assessment of Fabric Wholesale Direct. I would tell you this. A lot of the basic, very inexpensive fabric, it is kind of a you get what you pay for situation. It's a decent, I would say it's a decent value for what you get, but it's not the highest end fabric. Now, caveat, it does seem like they're adding more high-end fabric, so I have not personally had an experience with every single one of their offerings. So I would say these fabrics, they're a good value. Like, look at the prices. Polyester chiffon, $2.99 a yard. Knit jersey, $5.99 a yard. So it's a good value, but you kind of have to keep your expectations in check. This is not the end all be all for fabric quality, but it's a good value. So I will say this though, I did order the stretch taffeta a few years ago in, I think I ordered it in gold, purple, and black, and that particular fabric, so I'll click on this. See, I ordered it in the black, and when I got it, I noticed that the dye was like coming off of it. So like when I was touching the fabric, it was coming off on my hands, and it was coming off on like my, it was like transferring onto my cutting mat and to other fabrics. So this one you may want to be careful with. Some of the other fabrics I've not had any issues with. But again, I would just, keep your expectations reasonable. But yeah, with this particular fabric, with the black, I don't know what it was. Maybe I needed to like pre-wash it and like get some of the excess dye out. I don't know. But it started coming off and everything. And that was kind of a bummer. I have purchased cotton voile from Fabric Wholesale Direct. That stuff seemed okay. I did pre-wash it. I've ordered some knit from them. It was kind of a thinner knit. It wasn't, so it was okay. I haven't sewn with it though, but it was not super thick. One thing I do buy from Fabric Wholesale Direct is a canvas. So let me go to the canvas. And I have kind of a strange use for the canvas, and I will explain it. So I hope they never, all right, I really hope they don't stop selling it. Okay, I think it's, is it the 18 ounce? Okay, this is what I purchased. So about once a year or twice a year, I will purchase this number 4 cotton duck canvas. It's 24 ounces. This is extremely thick material. It's cotton material. And what I use it for, I have a bunny. She's been on my other channel, the main Sewing Report channel. This cotton canvas makes the best flooring for her enclosure. I know that sounds strange. So I will buy about 3 yards of it, and then I'll cut it in half, and I will put it on her, like basically the floor of her like little pen. So I have she's in like a 4x4 foot, like it's like an exercise pen for dogs. That's where she goes at night. Now she's kind of free roam during the day, and then at night she goes to bed. But this particular material works great for flooring for the rabbit. It's thick enough where she won't chew it, but it's also not slippery, so she can run around and not like slip all over the place. So that's what I use the canvas for, is for the rabbit. So Fabric Wholesale Direct does have a lot of different stuff, and they are getting in a lot more, like, I think a lot of people use this for like party stuff or like backdrops. I don't know, but they are starting to stock more and more stuff. Again, I haven't shopped here in a while. And I've had kind of hit or miss luck with some of the fabric, as I mentioned. But I think for the price, the prices are very reasonable. So I can't get too mad about something not working out. But they do have some more, they're starting to get some more expensive looking fabrics that, might be higher quality. But if you're looking just for some like real basic fabric for crafting, or so, like sewing projects, like Halloween costumes or something, this would be a good bet. Like they do have a lot of different stuff, but when I started shopping with them, they did not have nearly this selection. So they are adding more and more. Let's see the terry cloth. Okay. So again, the quality, it's like, I would say it's decent, but it's not like, it's not going to be like top of the line stuff. Okay. Oh, 15 ounces. That's really thick. And they're getting more and more stuff in. And you can see they also have tons of colors of stuff. One thing I really do appreciate about Fabric Wholesale Direct is that they have videos of many of the fabrics. And I really feel like this is helpful for you to determine the thickness, how it drapes, if it's stretching or not, and the opacity. So I do find these videos really helpful. If like, oh, and you can get samples. So they do have swatches and they have the videos. So I think more fabric companies or fabric sellers could do something like this with the videos. I've actually tried to add videos to some of my fabric listings if I think people are going to have a bit of a hard time, like kind of seeing how it is because they're not there in person. So that is a look at Fabric Wholesale Direct. Okay, next up, this is a quilting centric website, and I am talking about Fat Quarter Shop. I've shopped Fat Quarter Shop quite a bit, good quality. They also have a YouTube channel that's very popular. They have pre-cuts of the week. They have a lot of sales, so sign up for the email list. They have a lot of the popular quilting designers and manufacturers, a lot of bundles. So I've purchased stuff from them before, and I've always had a good experience. They also are an authorized retailer of Creative Grids rulers, which is my absolute favorite quilting rulers. So lots of stuff, really cute aesthetics. I've ordered stuff on the flash sale before, and they have some really good deals on certain items, pre-cuts of the week. So I have purchased stuff from Fat Quarter Shop a lot. I think the owner's name is Kimberly Jolly. She's on YouTube. She does a lot of tutorials and stuff. So it's based out of Texas. So if you're looking for quilting stuff in particular, this is another good resource. All right, next up, we're going to go to Fashion Fabrics Club. So this is sort of, I believe this is kind of one of those, another one of those fabric shops where they kind of source a lot of, their selection is always changing. I'm not even sure, but they might also source from designers and, you know, maybe dead stock. But they have they have an ever-changing selection of fabrics. They have tons of different fabrics, and I find their prices are very fair. And they have tons I've ordered from them a couple times. They just have so many different types of fabric. Where is this one based out of? I'm not even sure. Let's see here. Yeah, not sure where they're from. Let's see, contact us. Okay, I guess they've been in business since 1956. That's quite a long time here. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where they're based out of. So they have free shipping on orders of $79 or more. And yeah, tons of different stuff, lots of sales. This is interesting, so they have a value section. But yeah, they have like a lot of very random fabrics. So one thing about Fashion Fabrics Club is you really have to like look around at the site because they just have an overwhelming selection, but you can find some really cool stuff. Like, look at this, like pink poly stretch spandex 3D. So some very interesting fabrics. You can sort by color. You can sort by a lot of different types of fabrics. So I think their selection is awesome, and I think the prices are great. I think great, especially for what you get. You can also buy some fabrics by the bolt. They've got remnants. So a lot of different ways to shop, and they have different, you can filter it out. Not sure if they offer samples. It would be nice if they also had videos of their fabrics, but I know that might be too much since they just have so many different fabrics. So definitely worth a look. Fashion Fabrics Club. You can get gift cards. All right, fabric. Yeah, lots of stuff here. Great selection, and you can really find I would say a lot of very unique fabrics at Fashion Fabrics Club. I think these prices are fair. Really? Okay, this is cute. Stretch spandex. So lots of apparel fabric in particular. Okay, they have a costume and cosplay fabrics section. So yeah, I mean, I think these prices are decent for what they are. Okay, this is silk dupioni for $20 a yard. Okay. Okay, and they have care instructions. So I mean, 100% silk, $20 a yard. I would say that's pretty good. So I think this website I think is a good balance of value for quality, I think. Yeah, lots of different, I mean, they have this is one of these websites where you can just look at it all day and still not be done. So if you're not familiar already, I would definitely check it out, especially if you like to make clothing items. All right, next up, a lot of us already know about Mood. Again, kind of have to mention Mood. For some reason, I always kind of pictured Mood as like the pricey fabric site, but I have noticed that they're starting to offer more affordable fabrics. So I did take a look at just some of the fabric selections, and I was seeing a lot more stuff that was a bit more of an approachable price, like look, $5.99, $9.99, so not super crazy. They do have some very expensive fabric as well. They've also got the like the famous maker designer fabric stuff, so they have a lot of that kind of thing. Let's take a look at let's go to the homepage here. They also have free patterns. They have notions, trim. They also have some physical stores too if you're in the area. All right, let's take a look at the dead stock. All right, so these are surplus material from a mill's production run. So a lot of unique fabric. Again, I would say Fashion Fabrics Club has, I would say, a little bit more, it's a little bit more affordable, but like, look, this is some high-end stuff. This is Theory Black Stretch Blended Cotton Twill, that's a designer brand. Helmut Lang, that's a designer brand. So they are selling some stuff from well-known designers. Theory is okay, cotton sweater knit. So these are some really cool fabrics. Okay, and Mood does do swatches for $1.50. It would be nice if they did videos as well. All right, and they've got some care instructions as well here. So let me take a look at I want to take a look at the Theory fabric. Okay, so this is Okay, this is stretch blended cotton twill, probably stuff they make pants for, because Ethery seems to be pretty well known for their pants. Yeah, this is cute, and this is $13.99 a yard, so you get 3 yards of that. Here's the Theory website, and you can look at these prices. So the pants are usually around, a lot of them are about $300. So I would say that's a pretty good deal if you're trying to make like Theory level pants, cotton, polyamide, elastane, where you're paying $14 a yard. So you get like what, 3 to 4 yards of that, and you're only about what that would be about $60 in. You can make it yourself, and then, you know, that's definitely a lot less expensive than paying like $300 for pants. So that's just a quick comparison of some of these designer fabrics to put the prices in perspective to what the designers charge for the finished items, if you get my drift. But Mood is a good site if if you're trying to make like high-end designer inspired couture type items, then Mood is definitely a good option. But I would also say take a look at Fashion Fabrics Club as well, because they have a lot of really cool stuff as well. So there's a lot of, you do have some options. I know it's a little bit tougher to shop for apparel fabric, but I know it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, next up, we're going to go to handicraft.com. I know JOANN stocked a lot of the popular brands like Prym and Dritz and all that. And here is the official website for some of those brands. So I just found this like kind of recently, but handicraft.com is basically run by the, okay, so here's the brands. Let me take myself out here. The brands are Dritz, Omnigrid, Prym, Gutermann, and Lana Grossa. So all of that stuff, this is like an official site selling all of those items. So lots of different, and I think this website's really cute actually. So they kind of have some tutorials, lots of different, I just think this website is cool. So they've got some tutorials and tips and whatnot, but they sell a lot of different items. One thing I was looking at is they had some really cute home decor stuff for people who like sewing and quilting. Let me take a look at this. Home decor, or was it, maybe it was in the gift section, but they had a really cute like thimble, like a little thimble cup that you could use for storage and whatnot, and I thought that was really cute. So lots of different stuff, and you can see they do seem to have some pretty frequent sales and coupon codes, but lots of really cool items here at handicraft.com. Yeah, this is it, the novelty ceramic thimble. I just thought this was adorable. So it's a little cup you can keep like your scissors and measuring tape and stuff. So I just thought this was super cute. I might order this just to have in the sewing space. So you can get a lot. They've got stuff for knitting, crochet, embroidery, home decor. Yeah, lots of stuff for like doing upholstery stuff. So kits and bundles. So a lot of different, okay, the inspiration corner, that's pretty nice. So they got their own free patterns and stuff. So I think this was smart, especially because a lot of these brands did sell at JOANN's. So they lost probably one of their biggest customers, biggest commercial customers. So handicraft.com. All right, guys, we are almost to the end. All right, next up is a friend of the channel and a great products, and I am talking about Tites. Quick disclaimer, I do have a business relationship with this company, but I truly do really like the products. I've been using them for years. It's Tites. They sell magnetic sewing pins, but also a lot of other magnetic products. They're also getting into making acrylic rulers and cutting templates and stuff. So in fact, I just ordered one of their newer products, so I'm looking forward to trying that out. I stock some select Tites products on the Etsy shop, but a lot of the other stuff you can get here at sewtites.com. Link is in the description box. Also, you can use the coupon code Sewing Report to get 15% off of your order. So they do have stuff like the Sew Magnetic Cutting System, lots of different sew tights, a lot of different products here. So you can check it out. So you can order directly from Sew Tites, because I know I'm not able to stock all of their products, but I am genuinely a fan of this brand. This is a small business, small American business run by sisters in Montana. So yeah, you can pre-order it. I'm really interested in trying out. They improved. They sent me the Sew Magnetic cutting system with the original ruler, but they've made some improvements on it. Like they've added some like non-stick, like non-skid material to the back and some other things. So I'm really curious to try out their new rulers. The old ruler was like good too, but I think the new improvements, they changed the magnet placement. So they have the magnetic cutting system. They're making a bigger kit with a larger mat. The mat is really heavy. It's magnetic. And then you can use the rulers that are magnetic, or you can use like regular templates and stuff. You can also use Sew Tites or the booster magnets that come with it to keep things in place, like if you're doing pattern tracing or pattern cutting or anything like that. So sewtites.com is another place where you can find sewing and quilting supplies, and you can use coupon code Sewing Report for 15% off. All right, so that's just a look at a few different online resources for shopping fabric and sewing supplies. I hope this video was helpful. I know a lot of you have been looking around for other options, and they are out there. I know shopping online might take a little bit of getting used to. I've been doing it for several years, and it's, I know I'm a millennial. This is just how I like to shop. Plus, my husband and I are a single car family, so it's a bit harder for me to go places because we currently share a car. So let me know down in the comments if you have any other, again, please don't leave links, like no links, but if you have any other online places that I didn't mention, let me know down below in the comments. But I just wanted to give y'all a few ideas of where else you can go. Anyways, I'm Jen with Sewing Report Live. I will see you again in the next one. And remember, whatever you're doing, make it fun.